some days it feels so weird. And then, it feels weird to like do this. It's like everything, like you think, it's like, why would you talk about that? Why would you think, like, I don't know. It's weird. And then you just feel weird. And then I can get so trapped in my own head, it's hard to get out of it. And then plus this week, the Vatican is having some press conference or something on Thursday, the 17th. I'm pretty sure that's the date. But I think it's Thursday. I don't know. I didn't look at the thing. But anyways, they're having a press release or something to explain to people about the supernatural world. And so like they're all trying to scramble or something to hurry up and catch up because it's all coming out. But some of this stuff has to come through those certain entities, to the religious people and stuff. Like they have to have it come through that cavern to get their information. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And so there's going to be more and more of that. Like there's so much on the celebrity breakdown. It's even, they've even named it the Block Party 2024. I just block people because I wasn't following any of these people. But I guess if you block them, even if you're not following them, because you think, well, I'm not following them. But when you block them, it sets off the algorithm. And so it messes up. This is why these marketing people keep coming in and talking about it and stuff. Because it sets off the marketing thing of how they rely on trying to get information. And so it confuses it. And so the whole thing is about this confusion and this breakdown of this system, which these people are going to be the aftermath. Like they're going to lose a lot of shit. They're going to lose, like the Kardashians, they're going to lose a lot of stuff, but they're also going to be going down for crimes. So it's all going to be, it's all going to play out how it's going to play out. But there's so many people who are so invested in that whole scenario that's playing out. And so that's a lot of what is on the TikTok. And then another thing, oh my God, it drives me crazy. And like I said, you've got all these different things coming at you right now. So you have a lot of different things for you to maneuver through to try and figure out, and it's like you're being hit with a lot of stuff. And so on like TikTok, when I'm like going through the thing, which I'm so glad when people send me one, and it's just like I don't have to go through, because that's like they're going through, they're weeding them out. And most of the ones, it ends up being that we see the same kind of stuff anyways. So anyways, it helps me. But when I go on, it's just like, oh my God, there's a lot of things that irritate me about it. And one of the things is, and so you got these cute puppies. Like there is so many lives, dogs giving birth, horses giving birth, cows giving birth, sheep giving birth. Like it's just all the time. And then, but there's a lot of these dog ones. And it's weird because we have this whole thing about these backyard breeders going on. And so that argument has moved on to these lives and stuff. And people get kicked out of them and everything for confronting people. So you got this whole big thing blowing up on the breeding and just so many puppies, and expensive ass puppies. And then it is then on the very next video, then you have these rescue organizations. Is it seems like it's pretty easy like to get involved into like rescue, and it kind of swallows you into a group. And but there's also grants and money. There's also a lot of corruption, like the tyranny with this vet stuff and these rescues. It's mind-boggling, especially when there's vets out there who do donate their time, and then there's shenanigans happening. And so they have this one video where it was all, look at all the cute puppies, and there's so fucking many. So cute puppies. I'm constantly going and looking. I was like, oh my God, they're so cute. And then, but then next door, when we go over to, for Stella to play with that puppy, that, puppies are wild. And it's like, fuck. And Stella gets irritated. And so then it's like, this is just mine and Stella's time. I think, I don't know where it's going to go. If it's going to end or whatever. She seems like she's doing much better. And so she just has these bouts, and, pain won't kill you. And it's not, to me, in my moral compass, it's not up to me to decide when is her time to go. It's like written in the stars. So even though with Winston, but Winston was down to the last few weeks. Like, it was, he had cancer, and it was obvious. She's got arthritis. So it's like, but I know there's lots of people who, make that choice when their animal has pain. And she has times where she goes way down and then she'll come back. And that's one thing I've learned too, is like, God damn, if I would have put her down like what some people were telling me to do, look at all the time I've had with her since. And so, I don't know. She gets companionship next door. And she does like, to walk away from it at times. So, and that's the thing is, whenever anybody is here or any dogs or whatever, she does get irritated, even though I know she's super lonely. But anyways, I went over there, but I think back, if I can even think back to what I was talking about. For one thing, the weather is weird here again. So it's hot and stuff yesterday. And I didn't even go out the next time to look at the Aurora thing. I'm like, this is AI. This is some bullshit. They're fucking with us. And I think it is. Like, I don't know if they're just, if like the dark ones that are left are trying to, I don't think it is them trying to get us on their side. There's too many puppets that have been changed out who's ruling the puppet. So it's got to be more of a white hat awakening thing. And so it's got to be leaning people towards that direction, just like before the Vatican is going to have this announcement about, supernatural world and explain it and stuff, then to all of their people who are, listening to them, that's going to really be probably shocking, that some of the stuff that's going to be said. But I think it's going to be kind of controlled by the white hats as a part of the awakening. And then the stuff with the sky, it could be a part of disclosure of them trying to just, when things just keep being weird and wacky, just to get people to question it. It's like yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I did a TikTok because I went outside. Oh yeah, because it was really sunny. And so we were out there, and then the sun was super bright, but when I was walking down the driveway, I couldn't see the sun. The sun was blocked kind of by a tree. But when I was walking down, I had this one section of the sky right above the mountain. And as I was going, I was like, oh, so there's the moon. But I was like, I don't know. I don't think that's really the moon. And the crescent's on the top. And it's like, but this whole thing with the moon, there's too many shenanigans. And so I was like, this has got to be one of the planets. This has got to be a planet. And then planets, then too, is it's like when it's in another dimension, it's like it's coming into focus because it's coming into our reality. So it's coming into our understanding, our existence, because we are giving it attention, like what I was talking about. Like when you go into these other realms or something, is when you give something your attention. And see, that's what they're trying to do all on the awakening, is get people's attention, give it your attention, because then things go to work. Like, there's so much. Think about how much is in your mind of, when things are going on, like where you're talking and what the questions and what you're trying to understand and what the information coming in and stuff. And you also got to remember, like, I know there's like tons of people are constantly like, I'm so glad I found you. I'm so glad I found you. And, I appreciate what, especially on TikTok. There's so many people who are just like so grateful that they found me. Like, I'm talking about things that is because it's not me. I'm just a voice out here. It's each person. It's the memories inside of you. There's just triggers out there. So I just trigger a memory that's inside of you. And so it's like all these things are inside of you. It's not me doing something, it's you remembering. So it's your own stuff. And so it's those connections. And that feeds into your soul so that you can spark your memories. So you got memories and triggers and stuff. It's all happening inside of you through this transition. But it is like the planet that is out there that is kind of like hard to see and kind of faded, but it's coming into our reality, just like what they say with Nibiru is coming in, it's like comes in the cycles. That's also another thing that's fascinating too, is like when you think about like, oh, is things just happening, just whatever goes today? No, how it's set. It's like destiny and cycles. It's like a repetitive motion that is definitely going to happen because that's the way it always happens. And that is a part of the universe, what you got to understand when you try and understand about life and why you're here and what you're doing and stuff. Because it's not all just like you get up in the morning, what am I going to make happen today? No, it's how you look at the things that happen. And in those ways you look at the things that happen are ways for you to understanding yourself, to question yourself. Why do I look at it this way? Why do I feel this way about it? Why do I feel like this is horrible? Why do I feel like this is good? Those kinds of things is where you find your perspective that gives you your uniqueness, your unique design as to who you are. Because right now everybody's kind of underdeveloped because they're kind of products of their environment, of their programming. And so it's a reprogramming. It's like a deprogramming. It's like letting your programming go so that you can redefine yourself. So it's not just like reprogram yourself, because it is about being more open, as being in the flow of life and being more in that kind of flows. So you're not fighting it, fighting the current, fighting everything that's going on, thinking that you have some sort of power. And it's way more about getting into the flow and understanding. The more that you get into the flow, the more you can ride it peacefully. And the more you fight it, the more you disrupt it and cause your own friction for your own life. And so is way more about coming to that understanding of getting in, that there's destiny, and that there's cycles. It's like an energy. It's like the same thing as what goes up must come down kind of energy. It's just cause and effect. And so in micro macro, like they're at all different rates of how things come in orbit. It's like you have an orbit around you of different energies that come in and different beings and stuff like that. And so it's micro macro, but like this planet that's out there, that is coming towards us and into our reality, and getting people to think and question. And the more people focus on that, the more it comes into focus, and the more that we have to acknowledge it. But see, in the dimensions and realms and stuff, like it isn't necessarily like, oh, there's just space out there. No, it's like the same thing as bubbles in the ocean or something. It is just realities and realms. Like if you think of the ocean, of the denseness of reality of a life, of realness. And then you have the bubbles. The bubbles become the realities where an energy can exist outside of the whole, and it can be isolated for certain experiences. That's like what we go into these games, and there's different entry points into the bubble, the density and stuff, and it all depends on you as your own energetic source, as how you can maneuver through the different dimensions and realities and realms and stuff. And that is a part of, each person's awakening and their focus on their abilities and their vibration. And that is the expansion of themselves as their own energetic source, so it can have more access to all of the experiences available. And so then so but see, that is what this is all about, this ascension. This is all about a soul remembering that it's a soul, and remembering that it's in this learning, and that this is a period of time that is essentially like a graduation. It's like a leveling up. It's like a completion. Like you've, what the hell is that? Must be the squirrels. Oh, as it was so rowdy. So the and the other day outside, there was another bird that sounded like a jungle bird. Like there's definitely things changing. Like that little squirrel just diving. Squirrels are the cutest damn things, I swear to God. And they just think they're so adorable. I can't believe that there's so many people who don't appreciate them and don't like them. I have known people that try and run over them on purpose if they're in the street. Like, people are so wacky. Oh yeah, back on the dog thing. Because so you have these videos of all these puppies, and you have these videos of all this fucking tyranny and all these rescue. And some of the rescue is like, look, I rescued this. Now let's find a home for them, and all sorts of things, and all adorable fucking dogs. And but then you go on to the rescue sites, and like I was looking on some the other day, and it's like a couple $1,000s. You definitely have to spend a few hundred. And if you go to the shelter, it's like 89. And then you go to a rescue place, then it's a lot. And then those keep going up. And if they have a certain breeds of dogs, they're charging thousands of dollars for them. And so how many people are really going to go out and adopt and pay all these huge fees? I mean, there's certain people who don't go and pay at the Humane Society fees. And then you have all these videos of all these kill shelters. So there's this urgent, and they're showing the dogs that are going to be killed today. And then they'll show ones that they just killed them. It didn't matter. There was somebody coming to rescue them, and they killed them anyway. So you see these videos all day long. It's fucking heinous, man. And then so you get all these different perspectives and all these different viewpoints of all these different people or groups or something. And then it's like you have to form your own. And then there is no fucking answers right now. There is no right or wrong. This is just a fucking multitude of lessons coming to the surface. And where it all falls is going to be different. I think there's going to be big changes. There's going to be big changes of family, the way people have kids, the way people get married, the way people date. All these things are going to shift. There's going to be so much more respect for things that people have just, been like, who cares? There's going to be, whatever's going to happen is going to be like a gut punch from nature to really get the people who have discounted life itself and even don't have an appreciation for their own life. This is going to be like a gut punch to them, not like it is going to feel like that, because it's going to be this like impactful moment of appreciation of life, and whatever they haven't appreciated and whatever they've looked down on, other animals, kids, old people, whatever it is going to be hard. It's going to really hit them. It's going to be a hard impact. And so it's going to be a big thing for them to have to face. And that is going to be the shedding of that kind of energy, so that when we move forward, that energy is shedded out of our society. So it's going to impact the ones that are here to shed that energy. And there's a lot of souls here. There's playing out these parts that are shedding all of these different energies, because it is a part of putting things into balance, and for huge ancestral lineage and stuff like it's why you have so many beings or ancestors or guides or everything around you, because this is really big. And that's who you can tap into when you're trying to figure stuff out and trying to understand things. You tap into your guidance and they will guide you. Somebody was just asking me, I don't even know what video it was on. I don't have time to go in and like check every video. Sometimes I'm curious, like when somebody comments, it's like, what are they talking about? But this person had said, so you listen to Abraham Hicks. I was like, no, I don't listen to Abraham Hicks. I don't listen to any of these people that other people listen to or follow or read their books or whatever. I don't listen to any of them because I have my own guides. So I go to my own guides, and I'm comfortable with that because it's been my whole life. And so any information that I say that sounds similar is, that's crossover information. That's what I always say. That's, where I find crossover information is where I give it more value. And, but the things I have heard, like Abraham Hicks say, because I know who it is, I've heard her say things. And there was things I just didn't agree with. But the way she perceives it and the way she speaks it, it could be that she understands it the same way I do, but it's all in perception. And it's like retrieval of information. So anyways, because my perception about manifesting is different. Mine is about, it's weird because it's like there's certain things that are shown. There's certain things that like I'll give more value to or something. And certain things that I'm shown. And when I go in that direction, that is manifesting. And so, just like on the explant, like I had already compartmentalized it and was like, okay, I'm going to get my explant, all the toxins out of my body, if that's the tattoo, everything, once the med bed thing. And then, I didn't see it going on and on and on and on like this for years. And I didn't see all these other quantum med beds popping up. And, so I don't know how long it's going to drag out or anything. But I didn't see all that beforehand. Before, when I had already compartmentalized, okay, that's what I do. Then there was this other information that started coming to me about the explant and doing it with local and just doing like a foreign body retrieval, just get the foreign body out. And so it's not affecting all your tissues inside, except for, the collapse. But and that's severe in my case. But but I mean, like, it's not cutting into other tissue inside of you. So you don't have to, you can just have the area deadened. And then because the plastic has no feeling. And so then just have it taken out. It's just like all the tissue that was like, then all of a sudden it goes like, what are we supposed to do now? So to me, it was like a lot of spasms. It's feeling so much better though. And I've started doing, I didn't go back to my stronger weight or my heavier weights. I'm starting on like small ones, but I was doing a ton yesterday. I was sawing, I was doing a ton of stuff. And, so the, let me think what I was talking about. Because did I already finish about the dog thing? About all the different perspectives and people seeing for themselves. Like, what was I had skipped over and was talking about this thing? So easy to get off track and have no clue what the fuck I was talking about. It's like you have to tune back into the channel. You have to get your mind back into where it was. And then sometimes it just slides back in, like the information just bounces back in. But it still feels like I have to get like back into focus. So the the so crazy too. I was just so blank. It's like I have no clue what I was talking about. It's about people, memory, everything inside of you. People wanting to, the manifesting. That and oh yeah, okay. So then when I started seeing that and I started going in that direction, and then, I was hitting into walls because every place I was calling, they wanted to do these en blancs and this whole fucking thing. And definitely they were not doing it without general anesthesia. And some would do it with conscious sedation, but I don't want conscious sedation either. I didn't even take the pain pills. I don't want those chemicals fucking with my head. And so but when I started seeing this stuff, so I started going in that direction. So that is where they think of manifesting, is so I went into the direction of going towards what it was I wanted. It was like something they brought to me. They showed me the signs. They showed me what it was, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And then you can become too vigorous. You're in too much a rush, and so and then it's like learning to sit back and let them have the wheel because they're the ones in charge. You're the one who's just sitting back. You can get frustrated and mad and angry and argue with people and stuff, or you can just sit back and know the right person's going to come across my path. And they're going to bring, because they've already brought me the information, they've brought me the desire, they're taking me in that direction. So they're going to bring the rest, they're going to bring it all. They're going to bring the money, they're going to bring whatever it is that I need to complete this will come to me. And that is always how I have done it, whether it's been on a vacation or whatever it is I just go in that direction, even if it makes no sense. And I don't necessarily tell everybody because then they're like, well, how are you going to do that? Well, that doesn't, you got to do this, we got to do that, because that's what you get is a lot of resistance from other people. So it's easier just to go in the direction that you're led. And loud. And so anyways, the so that to me is manifesting. It's going into the direction that I'm led to go. It's not, I just get up in the morning and I go, oh, well, I'm gonna manifest this. It's always that something comes to me. They give me a direction. They show me a possibility. They show me something available. And it can be on all different things, just like the toaster oven thing. When I was like, oh, something, I was struggling without having the oven. I got the bread maker, and I was still like, God, I really would like a little oven. And wasn't even thinking about toaster oven. I didn't know they had come and, gone more fancy. And so then I started seeing videos all of a sudden popping up about that. So then I was looking at those and I was like, oh, okay, I want one of those. And I pictured it. at where I wanted to go get it. So I pictured it at the thrift store, and I heard the amount of money in my head. And so I had an amount of money set of how much it was going to cost and where it was going to be. And so then I just got my car and drove there, and there it was, and it was there, and it was the amount of money and everything. And so that to me is manifesting. And so it is, but it's, to me, it's working in union with the energies around you, because this world is a supernatural world. And I'm going to be so glad when people fucking finally catch on, because I've argued endlessly with people about what this place is and what we're doing here and stuff. And it just is like, fuck, you know. So I'm going to be glad for everybody to catch on and be like, oh, hell, that's what we're doing. Like, because I don't know how, you know, everybody got their minds so trapped. And, but there was, you know, there's supposed to be some of us who didn't get it trapped, so that we helped the other ones, you know, get out of the boat and get onto the dock. So it's not like, you know, and it has to do with our own lessons and our own karmic thing. It's not because, oh, well, I'm better than you, I figured it out first. No, it's because that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to go in a certain direction. And there's a whole life plan. There's a whole thing. Like, the stuff I talk about, I've been doing for my life. I figured out about manifesting when I was a kid. I figured out, like, you know, picturing things in my mind. And when they're showing me things and picturing them in my mind of what it was I want, I talked about before. It's like when you go around in the world and you register and, oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, God, I love that. Then you will see that those things will come back to you. It's like there is this relationship that goes on. Like, there's destiny, but there's also this. And I don't know, it's just all about us learning to trust this at our own pace, because not everybody's at that same pace. I mean, some people are very different place about manifesting than where I'm at. But I was doing manifesting way before there was ever Abraham Hicks talking about it. I had guides telling me. I've been working with the other side since I was really little. It never seemed weird to me, but it was weird to me is like you try and tell people and they just think you're mental. And it's like, okay, that was a lot harder. You know, you had to go through that whole period of, it's like a whole fucking lifetime of that perspective. It's gonna feel good when everything flips and all of a sudden people like get it. Conversations are gonna be so much different. It's gonna be like, fuck, it's gonna feel good. Um, but yeah, this, you know, the things I talk about are from my experience. And you know, just like I was led to have deeper understanding about reincarnation and what happens when you die. And you know, and a lot of people, I don't know if it scares them, but they don't ever look into it and they don't trust the information. They think everybody's lying to them. I'm not sure. But that's where you just go out and do more research and you find crossover. You'll find crossover all the time. And that will give you, you know, someplace to start. But you form your own beliefs, like they're inside you. Like you have an understanding of what this place is. It's just been overshadowed by propaganda and programming. And so it's you have to just dismiss that information to get to your inner knowing, because you have everything inside of you. You know everything that you need to know. It's not like there's anything hidden, but it's hidden from your own self. It's like, because like I said, it's like there was a purpose to not understanding this stuff, because it gave more relevance to your experience. But now we're in this transition where we're moving out of that energy. So it is now to start having a deeper understanding and see, and it's just like that same thing of things coming into focus, things deeper inside of you. And there is an expansion of everything that you will know inside of you, because it's like you're triggering it back on. It's like you're flipping the switches inside of you of memory and access to all of the things that you know, because like I've said, you're billions of years old. You're not, you know, whatever they've told you here. Like that is nothing. It's no relevance. to us. Like, and I know it seems like it, well, still, we're born here and we have these many years, but they're, how they use the aging is to, is to age you out. You know, and it's the way their system works, like in jobs and aging you out and stuff. So it's just like aging you out of life, because that's what their whole purpose is behind those, you know, those shenanigans of birthdays and every year you're older and what happens. Like, people get it in their mind, like, well, this is what 60 is, so now I'm 60, so now I'm this. It's like, you got to stay more tuned into yourself, not the general, like what they're saying. And just like yesterday, there was this woman, I guess, I think it was a woman, maybe I already said this, but I was doing the hair update thing. So I had my phone in front of my face so I can show both sides of my hair in the bathroom in the mirror, because I don't know, I feel like that the color is, you can see it more easy. I feel like that this causes more reflection and makes it look lighter. But all the light does. Sometimes I even start thinking, man, is it going backwards? Like, if I start going fucking backwards and things start getting more white with all the stuff I'm doing, it'd be like, oh my God. Oh, what the fuck? Oh man, they're strangled. But anyways, so this person, so I'm doing this, I'm just standing in the mirror, and this person says, your hair's too long. You need to, it drags you down. I was like, for one motherfucking thing, that's your own goddamn opinion. Why you think your opinion has any relevance to anybody else, I don't know. You know, if you think long hair drags people down and they shouldn't have long hair, then that's, you know, whatever. It's not up to you. And then the other thing too is, like, I was having a lot of different thoughts about this, because I was thinking about in the stage of crone, because you go through the adolescent stage, then you go through the mothering stage, then you go through all the I've learned stage, the crone stage. And that is where they want to tell women, you know, you got to cut your hair. That's not right. It all drags you down. It's like, makes your wrinkles look more. It's like all this stuff they say is absurd. Oh, and it's so much easier. Well, you know, it's up to you if you just want easy hair. But your hair has significance. It gets feelers into the world. And for people who have an understanding about that. And then it's also sacred in some societies. Like, women who grow their hair and stuff is very sacred. And it has significant to do with your psychic abilities and stuff. And so that is also very impactful to the crone era, where a woman has time to reflect and connect and go deeper. She's not worrying and running around trying to take care of kids and all that stuff. She has time to be in connection with herself and the universe. And they want people to whack their hair off, change the color, you know, you don't want to look old, so just cut it all off, and all the stuff that they try and say. And it's all to try and control us, and especially for the feminine energy. And so it was just weird how this person came in and said that. And I have there's a lot. Like, yesterday was another one. Like, I get suspicious sometimes over some of these things. Is this one person, they DM'd me and they started asking me all these questions. I get this all the time though. And so they wanted to know more what to do. So you tell them, like, okay, well, I have the playlist. It tells you, no, well, I really need to know. Can you just please tell me this? No, okay. So you tell them this. Oh my God, thank you so much. Could you please just explain this? It's like, okay, well, I can tell you what I do, but you need to do research. And you tell them a whole nother thing. Oh my God, thank you so much. You are helping me so much. I can't even believe it. Could you please tell me this? And it's like, oh my God, so finally I was like, at this point, we're going in circles. This is the last thing I'm going to say. It's like, I feel like they have these people to just go out and just drain us of our energy. And it can be in different things. Like, for some girls, the flirting thing gets, they get these guys, and some of these girls are just craving that attention, just out there working it, trying to get, their fucking DMs to fill up with these guys. Like, I don't understand it. But these things that just drain your energy, just this, man. I swear to God, some of this is being done on purpose. So, right now, I feel like, fuck, I gotta just like weed through some of these and not, it's like very draining, and set boundaries and be like, I can't just, and besides, you got to go do some research. You got to go look for some stuff up yourself. And I have tried and tried and tried to make it so clear to people. You are unique. Just because something works for me doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work the exact same way for you. You have to find out what works for you. You have to go and put in the effort. And like I said, is my guides bring me this stuff. I can't imagine that everybody doesn't have guides that are bringing them signs, but a lot of times they're busy, they're ignoring it. That's just another, they don't pay attention. They don't give it the relevance that they could give it and get more gain. So, that's where you got to be more in the now moment, in correspondence with your guidance, so that you have this benefit of them showing you, like when something comes across your feed and it's about something that is probably a communication that they want you to like, oh, huh, what, give me more about that. I'd like to know more about that. And then, you'll get more videos. Always, to me, like it's always like free coming to me. I don't have to go out and search stuff. It just comes to me. So, and I know everybody else has stuff coming to them, but it is like that they get caught up in like trying to control it, trying to control something, thinking that they know best. They don't want to do that or think about that. So, there's a definite way of getting into sync with this supernatural spiritual world. And, it is, everything can be such a distraction. Like they get people thinking because you're religious that you're close to God, and it's not. If you're not sitting there every day thinking on higher minded, like your connection to your soul, if you're not considering that every day, then you're not connected. Like you got to think of life through those eyes of what your soul is doing here, why it's here, why it has this interaction, why this happens, why that happens, because it's all for a purpose. Your soul is not just wasting time. Your soul's got it's very profound experience that goes through, and it is all about this expansion, like expansion of the universe. Like you have great significance, way more significance than you believe you have. Like you are important to the universe. You're you're an important cell to the whole being. So, and they want to keep people like discount themselves and feel like, well, if you're not making a lot of money, you have no value. If you're not pretty enough, well, you have no value. You're not skinny enough, well, there went your value. And you're too old, you lost your value. It's like all those things. You have to find your value. And you have to, and your journey to yours is the realizing all these doors. If you've shut all these doors, oh, I don't value them because of this or this or this or this, it's time for you to open those doors. Open up the windows and let the breeze come in. Fill your mind with, more information, more understanding, and realizing that you're the one closing the doors and asking yourself, why am I closing the doors on all these people? And so that is the transformation. It's a self-transformation, but through the process, that's why you have to take the steps yourself. You can't jump. Oh, somebody told me that you just do this. Like there's so many people who just think, you just stay in high vibration all day long. Well, you're gonna be sinking down if you're facing yourself. You're gonna be going through it. You're going to be going through the storms. It's riding out the storms and coming out on the other side. Then you propel up, and then you're like, fuck, yeah, fuck, I got through that, man. And I feel better. That was a huge release. And so don't get burdened because you dip down and you spend a week crying and angry and so upset and stuff. That's the release. You're releasing heavy stuff. So you're releasing deep, burdensome things to your soul. So don't get thinking, well, I have to stay up all day. And I heard somebody saying, you got to live in about gratitude and stuff. And that is important, and that will keep your vibration up. If you do look at everything of like, there's a purpose. This is good. I'm learning here. I'm moving forward. And when you can get yourself into that kind of vibe of like, yeah, this is good. This is good. Everything's great. Then yeah, you're going to feel better. Your vibration is going to be better. But that is a mindset. It's a way to start perceiving, the goodness in things, the benefit. And so that is another, but it isn't just like sit back and just focus on those things. If I just stay focused on those, my vibration stays up. It's not about that. And that is the thing, is like a lot of people want to push on people. You got to stay in high vibration, stay in high vibration. No, you want to be going like just as the earth is right now, going through these storms, this readjustment, changing the landscape. That's what each micro, macro, each being needs to do for themselves. So you need to go through the storm. You need to let go of things. You need to let things fall apart and fall away and then reevaluate. It is like, there's a lot of people who, lose jobs and they're going to be really heartbroken, but then they're going to be like, fuck, I was pretty miserable in that job. That was really a good thing because now I'm in this other direction where things are going good. So there's always there's the other side, but you got to go through the process, because through the process is where you let go of things. It's the pain of it, but then there's going to be the benefit that comes after. So, it's just about, is it just about like getting focused of what you're really doing here? And so it is good for them to be talking about that. And there's going to be more information coming out and all these different things. All the people who are hung up on the celebrities and the perversion and stuff. But there's going to be another side that's going to come out to that. It's going to be sad. I mean, these people went to go try and, you know, entertain people, and then they got used and abused, and family members were murdered, and there's a lot of bad stuff that happened. And so but it's all through our society. You can't just say, oh, it's just one group. It's all throughout our society, and each being has its own variance. And this is where all of the different souls get to come together to reset themselves and get a clear view of, like wrong and right, good and bad, or whatever. But remember, it's all in the gray. It's not like, because there is no wrong or right. There is no good or bad. There is only in how you perceive and what makes you comfortable, how you look at things. And there's always, a room for growth. There's room for expansion. Nothing is set in stone. It's always keeping yourself open and available to see other things, not staying rigid and, oh no, it's this way and only this way. To always have yourself open to possibilities and seeing more things. So anyways, that is I was just like a part of, the you that's inside of there, the you that's in there waiting to come out is so much more expansive than the you that was created to exist in an environment of limitation. So there's so much, but the limitation was done in a formula to make you doubt yourself. So that is, where there's so much growth and learning compassion and empathy through the process. And then, so anyways, that is what, all the stuff that's going on is all about this process of growth, and all the things that are going on, like Trump, like the trial, the hush money trial. It's all to bring judgment up in people. And then you got Hillary out and fucking racking it. And then my mom told me today that they're saying on the news that Joe cheated and the other Donald's the winner and all this stuff. So she said, oh, they're saying it on the thing. And So this is all going to play out. It's going to play out. And all the people who have been very stuck and rigid in their view of these things, they get to have a secondary view to give them more room to understand. It's going to be such a effect on people's ego. It's going to be such a gut punch, such a like, oh my God. And some people are going to feel so much shame and embarrassment and humiliation. But all that stuff is to come to the surface because that's stuff that you've been dragging around from life to life. And this is the time to purge it out. So you want to go through the process. It's kind of very more egotistical to just stay in my pain and suffering and, oh, poor me. I'm such a victim. Oh, no, it's way worse for me. No, it's way worse for me. You guys shut up. It's way worse for me. So that is very, ego-centric, egomania. So you don't want to get stuck in like, oh, poor me, I'm such a worthless piece of shit. You got to move out of that. It's like at some point, self-degrading kind of thought processes is just vulgar, and it's time to expand and learn how to love yourself. Like, because there's no place for that anymore. Now it's time to learn to love yourself, and that doesn't mean to be like, oh, I'm better than everybody else, I'm so great or anything. But you got to be thinking like, I'm fucking great, like I'm fucking cool, like I have nothing to be ashamed of, and get yourself into that. But you'll find your own balance. Everybody will find their own balance, and everybody's, things will be shifting. Just like some people when they're trying to set boundaries right now and trying to stand up for themselves and stuff, it's very shaky, it's very uncomfortable, it's very, oh God, am I extreme, am I crazy, am I being too mean? It's all of this expansion of being healthy, being healthier than we ever been before, healthy in our relationships, healthy in our how we take care of ourselves, everything. So it's all this it's going in a dark forest that we've never been. It's going into a place of discomfort, and learning for yourself what you need and where you need it and all that stuff. So anyways, I was thinking it had already gone over an hour. Let me think then if there was anything else. If there was some more stuff. I don't have any idea if there is, I'm sure there's going to be more crazy stuff all this week. I mean, we still have the money thing that's just right on the verge, and the bank crashing, however that's all going to play out, is going to, be the whole dollar, the whole currency, the whole system's got to go. So we still have that, hanging over us. Then whatever's going on with the trial and whatever they're doing about like all this stuff is just coming to the surface. It's all for this shift. And so everything, no matter how uncomfortable, and then don't get all caught up in it and stuff. If someone's irritating you, you don't have to listen to all their lies and bullshit. It's all going to be seen. All the lies and bullshit is to get people outraged, to get them to pay attention. Once you already know what's going on, you don't have to go in and watch and see it all. You just kind of learn how to take better care of yourself and notice, like, oh, this gives me horrible blood pressure situation. I can't go in and watch that all day long because it's fucking watching a bunch of liars lie. And but you gotta remember, this is all a shift. Like, it's all for people's benefit. So there is people benefiting and waking up. But anyways, it's all going to make this big tumble. And so all of a sudden, it'll just be this big shift where it's going to be just like the lights come on. And I don't know, it's like right now, it seems like everything just keeps building up to it and building up to it. I mean, I know that a big thing about the awakening, too, is to get so many people to be awake, because whatever these things that are going to be happening, there has to be awareness. There has to be people who know what's going on. There's going to be more and more stuff, I guess, in the skies, in the waters, in the forest. Oh, there was a fucking footage of a helicopter carrying off, where people are saying it's Bigfoot, and he's carrying it out of the forest. And then there's people down there like taking pictures or whatever. Like if this really happened, this is stuff to get people to pay attention. But when I saw that thing, there's no fucking way that was Bigfoot. That was a giant. It is so much bigger than the helicopter. It's bigger than the helicopter, the thing that is picking up. It's huge. And then it's kind of horrible the way it's hanging upside down and stuff. So anyways, Bigfoot is like bigger than us, but it's not bigger than a motherfucking helicopter. Like giants, those guys can be like 12. There's some that people have said are like 30 feet, in the 20s. 12 feet, I think, is like a short one. So, and then we have people who are, pretty giant who that have some of that DNA. And so, there's people who are in regular humans that are 7 to 9 foot, and that's just from something in their DNA. Then you have these other ones that are pure as giants, and then they're like 12 to 15 foot is the short ones, and then it can get really huge. And they're gonna be like big and burly and stuff. I've heard they're really big and stinky too. And so, yeah, Bigfoot is like hairy, and I mean, it's more, yeah, like 9 foot or something, and he's big and he's hairy and he's kind of like a hunched thing with long arms and stuff, but like a big frame. But it's like, he's not like an animal, but he's a different being. And anyways, like that footage though, or I don't think that was Bigfoot. It was way too big. So I don't know. There's gonna be more and more of that stuff is just gonna keep coming out. More and more crazy things, more things. What was there? It seemed like there was another. Well, there's lots of weird things, lots of supernatural stuff. Lots of people now, telling ghost stories and different experiences. And I don't know, there's so many people who were just all pushed silent through the control of this world, this environment. So to not get us to just talk about supernatural stuff and spiritual stuff and stuff, I was just like somebody who just did all the time. I was just a weirdo. And but with my kids though, is like they always knew about ghosts. Like I could talk about ghosts with my kids, but then there was like I was shut down when it started being like about souls and stuff, because then people could think like it's just an energetic imprint. Like there's different things that people could think. And so then when you start talking about soul and what you're doing here and stuff, then it starts going into like craziness to some people. But I did, I have my daughters and my mom, I'm getting them all a copper cup from Amazon. Sending them all. They're all saying they're going to drink out of the copper thing. They're all so, and then I'm going to just keep expanding it, get all my grandkids, everybody, get them all on the copper cup. So anyways, I was really excited about that. So see, I got the explant. That was all manifested. And they always will make sure you have what you need, always. But you get in the flow, and you'll know you're going in the flow when sometimes when you feel like you're hitting into walls, you got to put your arms up and just go, okay, just let go, just you guys bring it. And then that's when the other one came in, and I was still so upset all afternoon that day, is because he had said that he didn't want to do it. But they had told me beforehand. I just didn't listen. But then when he called the next day, then I was like, okay, I get it. So you guys told me he was going to call and he was going to listen. He was going to change his mind. So, they were telling me but I had to go through that healing. So, I'm not going to be mad at myself. But anyways, the whatever it is, when there's certain things, it just goes. It just comes to you. And just like with the disruption, like with the car and stuff, and they kept telling me so loud in my head, trust, 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 trust. That's the same thing I get on the house too. Trust, 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 trust. They're always telling me, just trust, just relax, just don't worry. Everything's fine. So, and that's why I would spread that out to everybody else. You know, if something is important that you need to give it your attention, it should be right there. It should be knocking at your door, irritating the fuck out of you. And you are the one pushing it back. And so, you know, start opening up to the stuff that's irritating you so you can purge it out and release it. And you know, because everything is coming to you. Whatever it is that you need to do is coming to you. And whatever I was gonna, I think I've said everything I've got to say about it. If anybody has any questions, they could just ask me. But that's why I also say don't just get hung up on like just go, well, Abraham Hicks says this, Abraham Hicks says that. Go in and see what is right for you. You know, because if that's right for her and she's trying to pass on information that's right for her, that's great. But you need to also go see what's right for you, because the way you perceive and the way things happen in your existence may be a little bit different. And then you may be, you know, out there to tell other people, no, it also works this way. It also works this way. You know, don't just get caught up in where somebody says, oh, no, it's only this way. It's only this way. And but there has been you know, things that I want, and it's like, oh, I really want that. And I'll see it and see it and see it, keep picturing it, and I keep picturing it in my head, and then it'll be there. I'll go outside, like that one time something was at the end of somebody's driveway. Or a lot of times, like before I go to the thrift store or something, I'll picture in my head what I want to be there. So and then you can't get disappointed if it's not, because sometimes it may take a few different trips. So, you know, it depends on what you're looking for. It depends on what you're asking and what it is that you're trying to manifest or get. And then don't just think like everything just comes for free. Even the things that come for free, there's usually still work. Like even with that dresser, it's all to sand it and clean it and paint it and all that. So any of the, you know, even with getting surgery or whatever. But the thing is that they bring the money to you. They just bring it. Like it all depends on where you are with money, I guess. If you're like holding on to every red cell, like, oh my God, I'm so scared, then you know, money's gonna flow different for you. If you're just like, money, who fucking cares? It's just, you know, what you got to use to get stuff around here. And so I don't sit there and think, well, I got to hold on to it or anything. It's just like, fuck it. I got some here. You want some? And it just is, you know, it just is in how you look at things and how you live your life. Those things are true. You know, everything comes from within you. And this is an opportunity to expand what's inside of you into new ways of being, new ways of looking at things. And so, anyways, now I really am going to go. So remember to love yourself, to love everyone, and have a loving day. And I'll talk to you later.